welcome to Math is Fun once again. This afternoon we are going to look at functions and relationships. As learners are about to write exams and tests, I'm here to help you. Okay, so under functions and relationship, we are going to look at it from the point of view using a flow diagram. Okay, so the flow diagram, as we all know, is basically an input going through a process for us to get an output. Let me put it in simple terms. An input will go through a certain process, that is the rule, for us to get an output. And on that, when we have a flow diagram is given, as I've said earlier, we see that, let's say we have a flow diagram. Okay. Within this flow diagram, we have the input values or input numbers, and which is always denoted by the variable x. Yes. And we say that it goes through a certain process. Okay, so the process here entirely talking about the rule. Okay, then after that we get an output. Okay, so functions and relationship, that is basically what we are going to do. Okay, then I have a typical example that we can look at here. Okay, so we have 2, 0, -2, okay, or going towards that direction, and we have our rule being given, and we have to find the output value. So as I said earlier, we have here to be the input values, which is x, and we have here to be the output values, which is y. Then it's supposed to go through a particular rule. Okay, there are times that the rule will be given to you, there are times that the rule will not be given, and other things, but here we have the rule to be -8x. Okay, what do we do from this particular angle? Whenever we are given such a thing, note that it is the input value, which is the first one, that goes through the rule for us to get the output value. So normally what I do is that, okay, here I will name it as x1. So if I'm having x1 here, that one will be y1. Okay, so what I do is that, okay, y1 will give me what? If I'm looking for y1, then I have to use x1. In the same process here, when I come, I'll have x2, y2, x3, y3, so that I don't get confused by going to take the second x value to work out for the first y value. Okay, so in this case, we have the x value. We have this to be -6x, meaning that -8 is multiplying x, so -8 times x. That is what it means. So basically, in some questions also, they'll write -8 times x. It is the same thing. Okay, or they'll write times -8. So here 2 will multiply -8, so -8 into bracket 2, so 2 times and as we know, under integers also, integers are positive and negative whole numbers. When you are multiplying integers, and if you are multiplying two numbers, one of them happen to be a negative number, automatically the answer is what? Negative. Some rules under integers. So 2 multiplied by -8 gives us -16. Okay, so if I'm looking out for y2, then I'll go by saying that 0 multiplied by -8 will give me what? Remember that any number multiplied by 0 is what? 0. Whether it is a positive number, a negative number, no matter how high or how small the number is. So here is what? 0. Okay, then I go to -2 times -8. Remember that one of the rules also is that when you're multiplying two integers, whereas they happen to be negative, so negative times negative always gives us positive. Okay, so having negative 2 here multiplying what? Negative 8. So here, in actual sense, it's going to be negative 8 into bracket negative 2. Okay, so negative times negative gives us what? Positive. So in this case, we are going to get positive 16 because a negative multiplied a negative. So flow diagram with integers. Integers are positive and negative whole numbers. It is only under integers that we consider negative whole numbers as what? As whole numbers. When we talk of whole numbers, we talk of having 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to infinity. Okay, it is an infinite set. Let's put it that way. All right. So this is how it goes about, and that is from the point of using a flow diagram. Okay, then it comes to a point that we can also use table to determine the output values in a table. Okay, so we say by using a table. By using a table, let's take 1 or 2 questions here. I have my x values, I have my y, but here I am stating it with a rule. So y is equal to negative 2x plus 2. Okay, so within this I have my numbers. Let me block this side and add another one here. Okay, so I have 2, 3, 4, 5. Here is 10 and here is 51. Okay. In this particular case, the rule is given. It is given to us as what? For you to find y, multiply the x value by negative 2, then after that add 2 to the product. That is what it means. Okay. So if I'm giving the rule here, what do I do? There are times that questions like this, maybe 5 marks will be allocated to it. You look at the mark allocation, then you look at how to solve it. Okay. So if it is a copy and complete and 5 marks is allocated to it, I will rather show working, show how you got your answer. And by showing working, this is how I want you to do it as a teacher. Okay. So if I'm looking for the first value of y, as I said earlier, I love this y1 and other things so that I don't get confused. Okay. Or if you are dealing with, some people use term 1. Okay. And that's when you are dealing with geometric and numeric patterns. Okay. So here I'll go by saying that for me to get y1, I will still state the rule. Negative 2x plus 2, which is equal to negative 2 into bracket the x value. The x1 is 2. So I'll write my 2 plus 2. And remember that whether you're using bulk mass, you're using PEMDAS, anything, here at this particular point we do multiplication first before the addition. So negative 2 times 2. Remember that a negative whole number is multiplying a positive whole number. So the answer is always negative. Okay. So I have negative 4 plus 2. Okay. And since we are adding, here is going to be negative 2. Okay. So I have here to be negative 2. So if I'm asked to copy and complete, I do my calculation, and after all the calculation, I draw my table again and fill in the values that I've gotten for y, the y values. Okay. Then if I'm solving for y2, I'll go by saying that still I'll put the rule. Okay. Then y2. What is the x value for that? The x value there is 3. So I'll go by saying negative 2 into bracket 3 plus 2. Negative 2 times 3 will give me what? Negative 6. Very good. You are following. You are really following. Okay. Then negative 6 plus 2 will give us negative 4. Okay. In our case, grade 8, grade 9, we are allowed to use calculators. So addition of integers and multiplication of integers shouldn't be our problem. If you don't know, use your calculator. Okay. Then I go to y3. y3, same thing. I quote it. I quote the rule. I do substitution. Wherever I see x, I put that x value in place. Then I do that. So you can continue with this. But what I would love to comment on is that after the block, we have 10 and 51. Okay. So this means that we have here to be consecutive numbers. Fine, I believe that you know consecutive numbers. But when you get to 10 and 51, this is to prevent learners who count their fingers, their toes, their eyes, the eyebrow, everything before they get answers. So really, you have to use the rules. Okay, so if I'm looking for that one, then I will have to put the rule again. Y is equal to, I'm dealing with 10 now. So it will be negative 2 into bracket 10 plus 2. Negative 2 times 10 gives me negative 20 plus 2, which gives me negative 18. I stated. Okay. And the same thing applies to it when I'm dealing with the last one. I go by quoting it. Y is equal to negative 2 into bracket 51, bracket close, plus 2. Negative 2 times 51. That will give us what? 102. 102. But remember, negative. Negative 102 plus 2, which will give us negative 100. Then after this, I make sure that I draw the table, I put in my figures, then we take it from there. So under functions and relationships, that is how we go about this. Okay. I'll give you one thing to do for me here. If you need help with that, please let me know. I have been given a table, and within the table I have here to be x, here is y, which is equal to negative 3x plus 4. Okay, negative 3x plus 4. And I have here to be 5, 4, 3, a block, and negative 8. Yeah. Please remember, quote. After quoting, show your calculation as done there. Then you put in the figures nicely. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you want more videos and you want clarity of anything, please subscribe to it. My WhatsApp number is also there. Contact me anytime and I'll be there to help you. Thank you.